Two different types of multipliers relate the quantities in any set of equivalent ratios. First, there are multipliers that relate the two quantities in any given ratio, such as 3 to 6, and in any ratio that is equivalent to the given ratio, such as 4 to 8 or 5 to 10. Since this multiplier relates to two quantities within each equivalent ratio, it can be called the internal ratio multiplier. Second, an equivalent ratio can be generated by multiplying both values in a ratio by the same number. Notice that this external ratio multiplier relates the like quantities in two equivalent ratios. So, every set of equivalent ratios has two different types of ratio multipliers. Internal ratio multipliers that relate the like quantities within each equivalent ratio, and external ratio multipliers that relate the like quantities in two equivalent ratios. The side lengths in similar figures can be found by applying both types of ratio multipliers. For example, a scale factor multiplier can be applied to the side lengths of an original triangle to generate the corresponding side lengths in a similar triangle. Because a common multiplier, the scale factor, relates the corresponding sides in two similar figures, each pair of corresponding sides forms an equivalent ratio. An additional ratio relationship exists between the side lengths within each similar figure. For example, the ratio of the horizontal leg to the vertical leg of this right triangle will be equivalent to this same ratio in any similar right triangle. In this example, a common multiplier relates the lengths of the two legs in any similar right triangle. In addition, other side length to side length ratios exist. In a different example, the ratio of the length of the horizontal leg to the length of the hypotenuse is equivalent for each similar right triangle. So, one ratio relationship for similar figures relates the corresponding side lengths in two different similar figures. The other ratio relationship for similar figures relates the side lengths within each similar figure. A related ratio table can be organized to highlight the ratio relationships between the side lengths within each similar figure. The internal ratio multiplier in this ratio table represents the multiplicative relationship between the horizontal and vertical legs of any triangle that is similar to the original right triangle. The external ratio multipliers, or scale factors, in this ratio table generate new pairs of vertical and horizontal legs in other similar right triangles. Note: comparing this ratio table to the original ratio table, it is clear that these multipliers have the same values for both tables. But for this new ratio table, the multipliers have switched positions. In future videos, sets of similar right triangles will be used to describe the steepness or slope of a line on a graph, where the multiplier that relates the horizontal and vertical legs will be identified as the slope of the line.